it. I look a little crusty, but hey, it is what it is, right? But what's poppin'? So your girl came to rant, communicate, conversate, whatever we like to call it. And today we are going to talk about when you lose the head of the family. But let's mostly talk about the head in general, okay? But first, hi, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Lina. I go by Lina the Hood Therapist. I am here to help you heal, grow, and thrive, only if you want to. It is up to you to decide whether you want to heal not just a surface level, but deep down inside in your soul and your spirit. Now, I want you to know this journey is not going to be an easy journey. You might even have to fight for your fucking life. But I believe in you. I believe that you can come across those obstacles and destroy them and elevate and grow and be a better person. Like, come on. I believe in you, bro. So come on this journey with us. Come along, my love, and experience growth. Not just for yourself, but for God as well. Okay? Now, I guess we could put this out and talk. Now, back to the topic at hand, right? When you lose the head, in this moment, I am talking about family. But we can talk about it as a whole as well, right? So, for those that do not know, my grandma passed January 2nd, 2026, right? And I guess I should take you back in time a little bit so you can kind of experience what me and my family experienced, right? Actually, let me put my hair in a ponytail. But, like I said, so you can experience kind of what me and my family experienced, right? So, as, 2025 was going on, and I'm pretty sure this was happening way earlier, right? And, probably a couple of years earlier, but for those that don't know, or should I say do know and don't know, I didn't really talk to my grandma like that after a while because, stuff that wouldn't happen, stuff that happened, something that wouldn't have passed. But, she, was fighting a lot of stuff when it came to her body, When she was alive, she had cancer, right? And she fought cancer. The cancer that she had, at least that's what they say, she beat cancer, right? But then other things started happening, health-wise, other things started happening. So I'm just you gotta understand, eventually we will pass. So it was crazy. It was okay, we basically just had to prepare ourselves. Or should I say, that's what I thought. I thought, let's prepare myself. And not only that, I already technically somewhat grieved my grandma, years before because of what happened in that situation with me and her. But, like I was saying, throughout 2025, she was going in and out of the hospital, and, some were serious to where the family came and we were sitting there and she was still smiling and Of course, being herself like always, right? She's stubborn as hell. But yeah, it got to the point where it was getting real serious, right? And come Christmas 2025, you know, the family went to Christmas and everything. I didn't even go to Christmas because I don't know. I just didn't want to go around the family because I already know how they be and shit. Last Christmas was crazy, so it's just like, chill. I'm not finna go, to Christmas, so it's cool. I can sit with myself and enjoy myself. So I'm just like, cool, whatever, right? Then that happened, and then the next day, right? Everything was fine, everything was cool. And that night on 2026, my cousins was over there with my grandma. And I guess from their perspective, it was like everybody was laying down chilling and everything, and she was talking and stuff. And then like everything, like they all died down. And then my youngest cousin happened to look over at my grandma because she was in the bed with my grandma. And my cousin was like, her eyes was open, and she was like looking up at the sky, like she basically was like not there, right? And she goes and gets the bigger cousin that was there. There were 3 of them, right? They were all girls. They were sisters. And she goes and get the bigger sisters. And they go in there and they're, calling 911 and calling their mom. And 911 is walking my oldest cousin out of the 3 through CPR, you know what I'm saying? And my cousin is literally 16, 17 years old, right? So she's doing CPR on her grandma, and we're getting phone calls. Like my mom at the time, our phone was off. At the time our phones actually died. I mean, not died, like turned off that day. I think because we didn't pay the bill at that time, so our phones had cut off. But my brother had his phone, and he had a different phone that was on our line. And so our aunt, that is the mother of the 3 girls, called him and was telling him like what was going on, the situation that was going on. And and she wasn't too far because she said something told her to have the girl stay there, and she'll go to like the hotel that's like a couple of blocks away or not too far away, and stay over there because I think she had like a free hotel or something for that night. So she was like, whatever, like she'll go over there and then she'll have the kids there. So she wasn't that far. So as she was going, to help meet them there and figure out what the fuck is going on and calling everybody. And the crazy thing is, bro, I kind of knew. I'm not gonna hold you. I already kind of knew this day was coming. I just didn't know when. And the crazy thing is, I had dreams, bro. Like, I had a dream where my grandma was driving in a car, waving. And there was a dog in the passenger seat, right? And I don't know why it was weird, because my grandma don't be driving with a dog in the passenger seat. That was one of the weird ones. But I don't know why it was weird to the point where I felt like, I don't know, she was saying goodbye. Because like I said, I didn't even talk to my grandma like that. But it's like she was saying goodbye because she was waving and she was leaving. And I don't know why in my mind, when I saw that dog, I was like, all dogs go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was weird. It was weird. Why did I think that? Only God knows, right? But yeah, it was weird. And I'm just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, that was weird. But then not only that, there was another dream I had where I was at a hospital and my grandma was in the bed, bro. And it was me, my cousin, and my brother. And not the cousins that was there. She's the oldest cousin. Female cousin. Well, she's not the oldest, but she's the oldest that I claim. The fuck. I don't claim the other oldest. But yeah. She's the oldest that I claim. Anyway. She was in my dream. And the doctor was saying, I'm sorry, you know, like, we tried everything, yada, yada, yada. So I'm just like, okay. Basically, they're telling me my grandma's gone, right? And this is a dream, by the way. They're telling me my grandma's gone. So I'm just like, okay. And then I call my mom. And I'm just like, Mom, like, I'm sorry that I have to tell you this, but, you know, this is what was told. Like, this is what's going on. Like, and then she was, I don't remember what she said, but after that, I hung up. And I'm sitting in the lobbyway with, you know, my family and, well, my cousin and my brother. And my aunt walks in, and she's the oldest out of, well, the oldest female. I think she's the oldest in general. She was my grandma's first, so she's the oldest. And she walks into the doors, into the hospital doors, and you can see she's crying. And I'm just like, you know, like, I'm literally watching her cry, and she coming in, and then she sees us, and she's walking towards us. First off, I don't know why in the dream, bro, my grandma was out there in the hallway with us. And I was just like, why would y'all do that? You know, have us out in the hallway with my grandma, and she just got a white sheet covered over her. I'm just like, bro, this is fucking crazy, bro. And then my aunt came in, and then something else happened in the dream. I can't really remember right now, but yeah, I was having dreams beforehand, before this even happened. So I'm just like, bro, like, I basically was preparing myself. And not only that, every time I had those dreams, I always told my mama, like, hey, you better go check on your mama. You better go talk to your mama. I had a dream about her. And I take my dreams seriously because for those that know, you know, my dreams, some of my dreams didn't save the motherfucker, okay? So, so, like, yeah, it's just like, when it comes to my dreams, I listen and take heed to something that is really alluring to me. Like, oh, okay, that's something that seems like something I should pay attention to, right? So, but yeah, now back to the story. My brother comes in and tells his mom, your mom's dying, your mom's unaliving. Like, it was just like, oh, okay. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, this dude, bro. And I get it. I don't know, bro. Like, only you can imagine what that boy is thinking. Or should I say that guy, that man. Only you can imagine what he's thinking in his mind. Because he got a lot of shit going on. So it's just like, but the way he did it, like, you didn't have to say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have to say it like that. You could have said it something, like, a different way. You didn't have to, oh, your mom's, and it's just like, what you mean? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, your sister's been trying to call you, you know, and yada, 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 something's going on. And then he was like, such and such is doing CPR, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then my mom is getting up, getting dressed. I'm getting up, getting dressed. My brother's already dressed. But I'm going for sure because I already know with them two, anything can anything can happen. And not only that, it's because like this is something serious, because this actually might be like the last motherfucking day. So it's like we gotta go, right? And I'm calling my sister. I think her phone was on silent. I don't think our phone was off yet. Now that I think about it. I think our phones was on, or her phone was on silent. Because I called my sister and I was calling her and I was telling her, like, you know, did anybody talk to you, bro? Like, did anybody tell you what was going on? Because at this time we was already in the car, but like I was saying, I came because I knew if I didn't come, my mom and my brother might just fucking wreck. Because with them two, it's a lot, especially with all the stress that's going on, with all the chaos that's going on. My brother's over here talking shit like he's always fucking doing. My mom is over here trying to keep calm, but also get to her motherfucking mama because of what the fuck is going on. But then she got her motherfucking son and her in the back of her motherfucking head talking all this motherfucking shit like fucking always. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, don't listen to him, bro. It's like he's the fucking devil on the shoulder and I'm the motherfucking angel. He's man. I'm just like, just be quiet, bro. Don't focus on him. Just drive and focus on the road and, you know, get there safely. And I'm also talking to my sister. You know what I'm saying? And my sister is a big fucking baby. Like, don't get my sister twisted, right? My sissy, she's the strongest bitch, one of the strongest bitches that I know, but she's a big fucking baby. she would cry, bro, especially when it's something like this. She would cry, and she did. She started crying like crazy because, you know, what we knew, or should I say what we heard, was they couldn't find a pulse. Even though my cousin was doing CPR, and by the time the people got there, they couldn't find a pulse. So they were still doing CPR and getting her together and everything and getting all that situated and getting her out and then going to the hospital, right? And we get to her house because we're meeting my aunt over there with her kids, right? Because they got to lock up and stuff. And my sister is getting ready, and I think she got in an Uber or something, her and her kids, after she got done, you know, crying and calming down. She got in an Uber and headed towards the hospital. And the hospital wasn't too far from her house, so when we met them and went in there and, you know, locked the doors and got everybody out and into the you know, into the cars and going to the hospital, right? Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. You know I gotta take a moment right now because this shit it's real, bro. Like, you know, having to talk about this shit and go through it again is tough, but you gotta understand, sometimes you gotta go through it again to heal. And talking about it helps you heal, you know. Therapy is not just about, you know, telling somebody your business. It's like you letting go. Because when you talk about it, when you speak about it, it's out in the open. So it's like when you speak about it, it's like you're kind of letting it go at the same time. But yeah, we get to the hospital, right? After we get everybody there, you know, we're sitting there because they're not allowing us in the back because, of course, they're working on her and everything. And my brother stays in the car. He doesn't even get out and go in the hospital. He stays in the car. I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not surprised at all, right? And thankfully, there was this area, like, I don't know, it's like God gave us this little area in the hospital because the hospital was kind of packed, I ain't gonna hold you. And when we walked in and looked to the right, it was like there was a good amount of people over there, right? And then we looked to the left and there was like this little area and kind of in the corner, but not really in the corner, and there was nobody there. So I'm just like, that we can all sit over here because we got a decent amount of family, you know. It's me, my mama, my brother, but he in the car, my sister, her 2 kids, my aunt, well, my oldest, should I say, my oldest aunt, the oldest aunt, not my oldest aunt, the oldest aunt, her 2 kids, but only one of them came, so it was really just her and him, but he came later, so technically he wasn't really there. And then it was the 3rd aunt didn't come. I really don't want to talk about her right now, but 4th aunt, it was her 3 kids, the girls. It was her and her 3 kids. And then it was my 5th aunt, where it was her, one of her sons, and her daughter, and then her husband. And then my uncle came later on. So it was a good amount of us, right? And we had a nice space. And we was all there, you know? But at first it was just me, the kids, like my 3 cousins, well, my 3 younger cousins, and then my 2 nephews, and then my sister, because they came in eventually, and of course she's still crying. Then I see my aunt, the one that I saw in my dream, she walking in, and she looking the exact same as the dream, walking in, tears in her eyes. She looking around for her family. She see us. She start walking this way. You know, it's crazy when sometimes your dreams come true, and it's not the best, you know, the best part of the dream that comes true. It's one of the sad parts, you know. But, yeah. We sat there, my mom, of course, trying to figure out, she want to get back there to her mom, like, what's going on, and all of that. And we're all sitting here, you know, but at the same time, my mom is getting impatient, and she's starting to cry. And it gets to a point where some of us are scattered. Like, the kids are sitting down, but us adults, like, well, the kids, and then my aunt's husband was sitting down, and then the rest of us was, like, walking around and talking and having a conversation about everything, like, us adults. It was basically the women of the family, because we are full of women. It's mostly women. The men of the family, they're scattered. That's all I can say. But it's just women, right? And we're trying to keep each other strong. But, of course, my sister, she's a crybaby. And then the oldest, she's staying strong. But, of course, she's going to be that way. That's just who she is. But, of course, she's going to cry. Like, she's crying. Like, tears are coming out of her eyes. But she's staying strong. She's not making a scene or nothing. Then there is my mom. And, of course, she's staying strong, but at the same time, she's kind of, you can tell that she's getting worked up, because not only she's walking back and forth, she's crying, and then she has a moment, bro. When I tell you, she has a moment that really, it was just like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't crying at all, actually. Surprisingly, I wasn't crying at all. But when my mom had that moment in the corner, you know, talking to her mom, talking about, you didn't say goodbye, like, don't leave, and it was crazy. I'm not going to tell all that information because that was her moment. You know, the people that were there and experienced it, cool, you were there, but just know it was a moment that she needed, bro. And it made me cry because I felt it, you know, like, I felt sad. I'm just like, dang, bro, like, because I know how my mama loved her mama. Like, she loved her mama to death, bro. And she was basically losing her best friend. So it was kind of hard to, you know, witness that. And then not only that, you know, my sister's crying. And then not only that, we're talking about everything that's going on. And not only that, I also know that in the back, you know, my grandma's back there. And everything's going on. So it's just like a lot of shit, bro. It was crazy, bro. And eventually she walks up to the front desk. My mom still hyped, like, she's still a little hyped. Even though she says she's calm, she's still a little hyped. And of course, everybody's watching us, you know. The people that are there, they're seeing us. They obviously see that we are really going through something right now, right? And so she's like, she wanted to see her mom. When can she see her mom? And they're telling her they're making space, you know, because there was a lot of equipment and stuff. So they're trying to make space because also they're like we said, it was packed. It was like 1 something, 2 something in the morning. Like, actually, it was 1 something when we got the phone call. So it was like 2 something, 3 something in the morning, okay? And there was still a lot of people going in and out. It wasn't just like us. It was like us, and then there was other sick people. So it was a lot that was going on, right? And eventually we all sat down and we started talking, and there was moments where everything was silent, you know. Nobody was saying anything. We were all just there, like, basically taking it in, bro. Like, I know I'm crying, I mean laughing, but like I'm laughing to keep from crying, bro. Like, it gotta be, like, this shit serious. Like, there were moments where we were really just sitting there like, this might be actually the real deal this time, you know what I'm saying? So we were there in the moment, and of course there were times where we started to talk about memories and talk about this and laughing and ha-ha-haing, you know? And people probably would think you're weird for fucking laughing at a time like this. But what else can you possibly do? You know? Especially with my grandma, bro. She was not that woman. She wouldn't want you to cry and be miserable and sad. No. She would want you to be happy and laugh and, you know, enjoy your life, bro. Like, enjoy the moment. Because it's like, you only live once, and life is not going to wait for you, you know? She always will tell you, pick up your motherfucking feelings and put it in your pocket, because life moves on. Life moves on, bro. But anyway, that shit happened, right? Yo, I'm trying to look at y'all, but at the same time, I'm trying not to fucking cry, bro. I'm so sorry. Like, this is... Get off my pocket. I'm sorry, y'all. My pocket got stuck in the thing, but then the water bottle got stuck in the thing, so I tried to... I don't fucking care, bro. Anyway, bro, that shit happened, right? So we're sitting here waiting, and then eventually, like, people started moving around again, like walking and getting fresh air and stuff like that. My mom and my mom and the oldest aunt eventually went out there every once in a while to talk to my brother and tell him about what's going on and stuff like that. And then they would come back in. And then there was a time where the doctor came and talked about, okay, we can let 2 of you back there, right? And we kind of thought, my mom and the oldest would go first. Or was it my mom and the youngest? I think it was my mom and the oldest, because they were the oldest out of the siblings of my grandma, right? So I think it was just the oldest that went first. So they went first, right? And we kind of thought my mom was not going to come back because, like I said, this is her mom. And we all knew my mom. We all knew that she would want to be by her side, right? So eventually the oldest came back, right? Eventually the oldest came back, and then not too long after my mom came back, and we was like, wow, you came back. Like, we thought you was gonna be back there for a minute. And she wasn't. So she said, I'm being generous. No, I think she said she's being nice. Like, I'm being nice. And like, yeah, you are, because everything that's going on, right? And then the 2 youngest go of her kids that were there, and they go back there and they talk. Actually, I think what happened was the oldest came back, and then one of the youngest went, because, like I said, we had to have 2 people. And then eventually my mom came back, and then the other youngest came, right? And they were talking, and I think one of the youngest came back. The one that has the 3 girls came back, and I think she gave the husband of the youngest, the husband of the other aunt with the boy, and the one with the husband, she gave him the sticker to, go back there, with her. And he went back there, and then as they were back there, my sister and my aunt with the 3 kids was figuring out if, actually, I think they only brought, did they bring him? No, I don't think they brought him. I don't remember. I think it was just her and her husband. I thought she brought one of her youngest son and her daughter, but no. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was just her and her husband. But anyway, back to what I was saying. My aunt with the 3 daughters and my sister was trying to figure out if they wanted, their kids to go back there and see their grandma like this, because they had, tubes in my grandma. And, like, because they had her on a breather because she couldn't breathe. Eventually, my bad, I didn't catch y'all up. Coming to find out, eventually they had to put tubes in her and put her on a breathing machine. And they eventually found her pulse. At first, they had to do its own beat. Like, at first, they had to put her on a thing that beat for her. But then eventually they found the pulse, but she couldn't really breathe on her own at the time. So, but yeah, like I was saying, they was trying to figure out if they wanted to take the kids back there or not, right? And so my aunt and her husband comes back, and next it was me and my sister, because we went from basically the oldest to the youngest, and me and my sister was next. And I was like, come on, sissy. And of course I already knew she was gonna cry. You know, I knew it. Like, you already knew my sissy. Like, come on, Tinkerbite, come on. I got you, come on. And so I am going back there with my sister, and we're walking back there, and we have to walk in this door. Like, we have to walk past these people on the left side, on the right side of the hospital, the ones that are sick or that are getting seen as well. We gotta walk past them, go into this door that's on the left of us all the way down, and then we had to walk down like two open spaces. Basically, there was a hall or like some type of storage hall area, and then we walked down, and I think there was another like hallway or whatever, and then we walked down there. Like, we walked down to the next opening area, and as we're walking, you see EMTs or however, EMRs, emergency response, you know. We were seeing a couple of them standing there, and then there was a patient on the bed, right? And it's like we had an audience everywhere we went, bro. We had an audience outside. Now we have an audience here, having to literally walk down the hall and then move the curtain back and see my grandma on the bed with tubes and her breathing and all that. And of course, right when we hit that area and push the curtain back, my sissy started crying. She said she can't. And like I said, there's like literally somebody that's outside the door with an EMT standing there, and they're watching us, and it's just like sad. They're just like, damn, bro. But I go in there, of course I go in there. Why wouldn't I fucking go in there? For motherfuckers that don't know, that was my motherfucking rock. She will always be my rock. Even though my rock of her shattered, it doesn't mean she's not my rock still. She's just in multiple pieces instead of one big boulder. I had to learn she has a lot of different sides to her, and I still love her. That's my grandma, bro. Of course I'm gonna love my fucking grandma. That was basically one of my second mamas. But yeah, bro, I go in there and I talk to her, bro. You know, I tell her that it's me. Of course, your favorite niece. Like I always fucking say, because she don't want to admit it. She says she love all her nieces, but hey, from me to you, we all know who her favorite niece was. Like, come on. But yeah, damn, that crock is hot. I started talking to her and everything, and eventually I walked out, and me and my sister walked back, right? And then my aunt had told me to take, you know, the oldest of her daughters back there. And I'm just like, all right, cool. So I take her back there, and I'm walking with her, you know, and it's like, yo, I don't know if you heard that, but that was my fucking stomach, bro. That bitch is hungry. I have not eaten today. Well, let me stop fucking lying. I only had a hash brown. Bro. And it's 11:29, and I've been up since 6:30, bro. I'm hungry. But, yeah. As I'm walking, you know, I'm experiencing, like, I'm literally watching, you know, her reaction as we walk down the hallway and turn to the left and go down and turn to the left and walk on down and open the curtain, bro. It was like another moment where it's like I'm reliving. Every time I went back there, it was like I'm reliving this thing over and over and over. And it's just like, bro, this is crazy, bro. Like, it's truly crazy. Like, I'm reliving it over and over, of walking down and experiencing and seeing that she's like this. But like I said, we go in there, and please don't mind my stomach, bro. I'm gonna eat something eventually. But she goes in, she talks, she cries a little bit, and this is the one that was doing CPR on her at her house, you know. And we had a moment, and then we walk out and we go back to where the family was, and then I think it was Mira's turn, like the middle child of my aunt's turn. But then the uncle came, like our uncle came. So I'm just like, excuse me, I'm just like, hold on, you know, let him go first. Or was it, I can't remember if I took the niece. Like, I can't remember if he came when me and my sister was coming back, or when me and my not niece, my cousin, my oldest out of the youngest cousins came back. Either way, my uncle came, and he was like, I can wait. And I'm just like, yeah, no, bring your ass. Like, what are you talking about? You're the child of the one that's back there. Come on, let's not do that. And he just sitting there staring at me, and he's like, all right. And he goes, and we're walking back there, and he's talking, right? And I can't remember if he started talking first or if it was me. I think it was me. And I was like, you know, it's just like old times. I was like, it's just like old times when me and you had to walk back there to see her when her eye came out, bro. For those that don't know, I don't even know if I told y'all about this, but when I was younger, I had but there was a moment where I was at my grandma's house, and I don't even think I was in school at the time, and if I was in like elementary, kindergarten, right? And I was sleeping at my grandma's house, spending the night at my grandma's house, and everything was fine that I can recall. But at the end of the day, I was a child, so I don't really remember everything because I wasn't really paying attention like that. Because usually when I'm at my grandma's house, I'm just chilling, you know, playing with my blocks or playing with chess or checkers or building shit, like watching TV. Like, I was enjoying myself, you know, with my grandma. And the night came, and my uncle literally lived next door, because she lived in an apartment, and she lived in an apartment next door. So it was literally, I don't know, it was just for I would say it was God's plan, because she woke up, and I had woke up because I heard her, and she was coming out, and I'm just like, Grandma? And she's literally holding her eye, and she's kind of bent over a little bit, and she's just walking, and she walks out the door. She walks right out the door and goes to him and knocks on his door. And I'm still in the house, like, what's going on? Because I'm like, I don't know why I didn't follow her or what, but I just sat there on the couch. And then they came in, you know, they came back in, and my uncle is freaking the fuck out in his boxers. He's like, oh my God, you did it. And I'm just like, and I'm just sitting there, and I was looking at him, and I'm saying, call 911. He freaking out, and I'm like, call 911. He was like, he's trying to figure out how to call 911. It's like see, I was always that somewhat calm child. I was never really chaotic, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I was always calm. I don't know. I guess it was something in me that just knew, stay calm and it'll be all right, bro. But I was just calm, and, you know, I told him, call 911. He calls 911, and I'm telling my grandma, like, hey, like, sit down, because I don't know if, like, she might be dizzy or whatever. And like I said, I'm no older than an elementary school kid. And at that time in elementary, because I had to get held back a little bit because of when my birthday was. So I was 6 years old in elementary. So no older than 6, maybe. No, I don't even think I was in first grade. I'm pretty sure it was like elementary or younger. So I was like no older than 6. And I'm just like, sit down, Grandma. And when she sat down, her eyes started, like, she literally had her eye in her fucking hand. Like, it was crazy, bro. She was covering it, so I couldn't really see. So I was, by the grace of God, I was shielded from that view, because I know that would have scarred me in some type of way. If I actually seen the eye in her hand, it would have scarred me in a way that I don't know how I would have felt, right? But so that happened, and her eyes started to bleed, and eventually the ambulance came, and they took her and they brought her, and then my uncle went and got dressed, and we went to the hospital and everything, and all the family came, and, you know, kind of like how that happened in the future, like right now, like with everything that happened, right? So, like I said, back to the actual story. I was walking with him, and I was like, you know, like old times and da-da-da. And he was like, you are just like your mother and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, you know. And he was like, you're stubborn and this, that, and third, just like your mother, da-da-da. I'm just like, okay. You know, he's sitting there, and I'm just like, I was never really cool with this uncle. Like, he was all right, but at the same time, not my cup of tea, right? Like, I don't stay in contact with him. He always, anyway. But I walked back there, and there was people in there checking on her when we walked back there, and he just stood there. You know how, like, my brother didn't go into the hospital and even come in and see her? He just stood there just like him, but at least he came and stood there, you know what I'm saying? At least he went back there and stood there. At least he came into the hospital instead of staying in the car. But after that, I walked back with him, and then I took the rest of the kids back to back to back to back. I don't know why I was the one that would bring them back, but I didn't care. Because it's like, I get to see her, you know? Even though she's like this, I get to see her. I get to be a helping hand, because I wasn't there. You know? I wasn't there at all. Bruh. Bruh, you didn't have to give me a confirmation like that, bruh. I get it. I know. I shouldn't feel bad because of what happened, and I get it. Okay. Thank you. My bad, y'all. You know, there are times where God gotta talk to you, even in the moments of giving messages. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I was just helping, being the best that I could, and staying strong. And eventually everything died down, and they pulled the adults into a room. Basically all of us women, all of her daughters and her granddaughters, but not the youngest granddaughters, the oldest ones. And it was just me and Danielle, my sissy. It was just me and my sissy, so it was her 4 daughters. Well, she had another daughter, but yeah, her 4 daughters that were there, and then her 2 granddaughters that were there. Her older granddaughters, should I say. But yeah, they pulled us in a room and they told us that the hospital that she's at can't really do nothing for her, you know. They would want her to go to a different hospital that can help her, you know, and see, you know, what they can do and make her comfortable and all that jazz. And we was like, okay. And then we had to wait for her to get a room. And eventually we were able to find her a room at Abbott Hospital. And the funny thing is, there is my mom and my one of my aunts used to work at Abbott Hospital, and I think she did. My grandma did too. And a lot of shit went down there, and it's crazy that it's like we made a full loop, you know, full loop back to that hospital. And we got there, like, it was like 8 something in the morning. So we got there, you know, got the call at 1 something in the morning. We got there around like 2. And we stood there, like, we stayed there until 8. And then, you know, they did everything. Like, they maneuvered, like, they took her to the hospital. Some of us went to the hospital, some of us didn't. I didn't go because it's like I was already there, and I know that I need some sleep, and I know that I need to recharge because I know this is gonna be some fucking shit, right? So I decide not to go that day, right? Or go back to the next hospital. Then the day after that, I go, and you know, we go see her and everything, and then eventually we leave. I don't go the next day, and then I go again the day after that. Or did I miss another day? I can't remember. But either way, we had a meeting. You know, the doctors wanted to have a meeting with everybody, and everybody was literally just everybody that was there the last time, I think, plus one of my grandmother's so-called friends, should I say. And we eventually got the, you know, message of we can't really do nothing, or should I say they don't really see chances of her, you know, truly coming back. You know, they put her in a coma, you know, to help with everything. And she would have to have a tube in her throat, and she would have to constantly be watched, and basically telling us, like, the option is, you know, have her on the tubes for the rest of her lives and be in the bed, or let her go. But they were saying that she's still, like her heart, her own heart is still beating, right? So it's like, it's up to us to figure it out. And she or should I say I guess some decided that we should wait until, because during this time it was, I want to say, either December 30th or 31st, because I think New Year's was the next day. Yeah, I think New Year's was the next day or some shit. And they didn't want to let her go on a holiday. And then not only that, something about our aunt's birthday, and her mom wouldn't want her to go on. Basically, they knew that their mom wouldn't want to be let go on like a holiday or whatever and stuff like that. And so we decided to put her on a D&D or DNR, do not resuscitate, if if her heart gives out again. And we'll just let it ride until January 15th. I mean, not 15th, January 5th. So, just, so that we can get everything situated. But, she made it to January 2nd at 2-something in the morning. And around this time, like I said, our phones had got cut off, and my mom didn't want to put her phone back, like put the phones back on, because of, she didn't want to be bothered. Like, she didn't want to be talked to nobody. And I didn't really care, because I didn't have nobody to talk to anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all I need is Wi-Fi. So I don't got friends. Like, I don't talk to people. I mind my motherfucking business. I say to myself, you know what I'm saying? The only people I talk to is y'all, right? So I was like, it's cool. Like, I don't mind. And eventually, my aunt called my brother again and told him, like, hey, like, she's gone, the same day her heart stopped on December 27th was around the same time it stopped, January 2nd. And me and my mom got dressed and we drove up there. And me and my mom was the first ones there. And we go up there and we get let in. And I see her, but they still have the tubes in her. I can't remember why they still had the tubes in her, but they still had the tube in her mouth. And, but everything was off. It was quiet. Like she was sleeping. And my mom decided to like wipe her down, because they're going to wipe her down regardless. So my mom and the nurse wiped her down to get her prepped and everything. And I stepped out the room because I didn't, hey, grandma, no offense, but hey, I ain't trying to see all that, like, hey, I love you, but I'll let you keep your privacy, you know what I'm saying? That's your daughter. I'm the granddaughter. I'll let you keep your privacy unless there's help that is actually needed. Okay, I'll help. But if there's not, cool beans. You're good. But, yeah. Then I came back in, and, while they was doing that, I got coffee and stuff for me and my mom. And then I came back in, and they were done. And I wanted to listen to the song that I made her. It was like a goodbye song, bro. And bad decision. Worst decision ever. Worst decision ever. I sat there, bro, and my mom and the nurse was over there talking, and I was just sitting there, bro, and I was listening to the music, and I was looking at her, just laying there, and I'm just like, bawling my eyes out, bro, bawling, boiling. I have not cried not once, besides the time I was crying that little bit with my mom, but the whole time I didn't cry. But when I sat down and I played my music, I'm like, I literally had to get up and I walked out because I had to take a moment for myself. Like, that's just a body now. That's not her. That's just a body. And as I was walking out, I seen my aunt, both my aunts, the oldest aunt and one of the youngest. The youngest one that has the 3 kids, she didn't come because she couldn't handle that. And then not only that, my sister, she couldn't come because she couldn't handle that. And they were all there. Them 2 were together. You know, they decided to stay together that night. And the one with the husband came, but the husband didn't come. And also my dad came too, you know. And all that shit happened, you know. And we said our final goodbyes and we went home. You know, there's definitely going to have to be a part 2 to this. Maybe a part 3. But I guess, I know y'all going to hate me. I know you going to hate me. I know you're going to hate me. I know you're going to hate me. I know you're going to hate me. But I'm going to pause it right there. And we went home. Now, you're going to have to wait for the next part. Okay? I'm not going to be too long. But hey, just know it's coming. But I hope you had a blessed day today. And if not, I hope tomorrow is blessed for you. Keep thriving. Keep going. Keep surviving. Keep doing you. And do not let these motherfuckers stop you. Do not give up. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Believe that you can conquer whatever the fuck is thrown at you. Because I believe that you can. Okay, my love? But, that's about it. Y'all have a good one, okay? Peace out, y'all.